Alright, for number 18 here. In this case, we have the height. So whenever you have the height, think of it like this. You have the height, you're going to multiply it by that guy right there, and that guy right there. So when you have the height or the altitude of the big right triangle, you're going to end up multiplying it by the two parts of the hypotenuse. Now the problem is, I know 36 here, but I don't know this. But I know the whole thing is x. So you could think of the hypotenuse is equal to part 1 plus part 2. Well, the whole hypotenuse is x, because that's what we're told here. That big whole thing says that's our whole hypotenuse. The first part of the hypotenuse we know, it's 36. Do I know the other part? That's the problem, is that we don't know the other part. We don't know this pink part here. So we'll just call that part 2, because we could do that. Now subtract 36 from both sides. X minus 36 is equal to part 2. So this is really x minus 36. So it's not perfect. It'd be great if it was a number, but it isn't a number. It's x minus 36, but it's something we can deal with. So now the rule says I need to take the height, which is this part right here, and square it is equal to part 1 times part 2. So I need to take 6 times the square root of 85, square that, is equal to 36 times part 2, which is x minus 36. Now, I'm not going to distribute this yet, because I want to keep the numbers as small as I possibly can. Now, again, when you have two numbers being multiplied, like this, 8 times radical 85 to the second power, this becomes 6 squared times the square root of 85 squared. That's equal to 36 times x minus 36. Alright, so what's 6 squared? 36 times, now you got the square root of 85 squared. All this does is it gets rid of the square root symbol, doesn't it? So it's going to be 36 times 85. And if you forget why, the reason is if you have the square root of any number a squared, it's equal to a. That's one of those properties that you learned last year in Algebra 1 or whenever you took Algebra 1. And that's equal to 36 times x minus 36. Now, again, only multiply when you have to, because if we multiply 36 times 85, big number, big pain. But since I have a 36 here and a 36 here, if I divide this side by 36 and divide this side by 36, these two values divide out, these two values divide out, and I'm just left with 85 on the left and x minus 36 on the right. This is the reason why you want to show every step do everything you can, but then sometimes you want to back off on just multiplying everything. Even though we could have multiplied everything here, we could have distributed here, but by not doing that right away, we found out that we can divide out stuff nice and easy. Like, that's one of those math things that sometimes you want to slow it down a little bit before making everything into these big numbers, because sometimes the big numbers scare people. Alright, so I want x, so I'm just going to add 36 to both sides. So negative 36 plus 36, that's just an x. 5 plus 1 is 11. I hope it is. Carry the 1, 8, 9, 121. Is that what our answer was? Yep. Does that make sense how we did that? Cool.